And good morning. Welcome to the Pit Straight. It is very early in the morning here on the East Coast. It's 5:53, but it's Formula One today. Sprint race is about to start. I'm going to be quiet in just a few seconds to make sure the audio is good on my end. So I'm going to unmute my stream real quick. And it works. Awesome. So, welcome to our first watch long of 2025 here on the Pit Straight. This is the Formula One sprint race for the Belgian Grand Prix. Should have done this before. I'm going to look at the starting grid real quick. And excuse my yawns if you were here last night when I was testing, and I'm so glad that I tested the stream. I was yawning, so I'm just trying to find the starting lineup as waiting on coverage to begin. Sprint qualifying results. So here is the starting grid for today's Belgian Grand Prix sprint race. Oscar Piastri starts from pole with a time of 1:40.5. He watched the highlights. He was 0.4 of a second quicker than any other driver. Then Max Verstappen, second place with a 1:40.9, and rounding out the top three, Lando Norris with a 1:41.1. Rest of the starting grid from fourth on down, you have Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz, Oliver Behrman, Pierre Gasly, Isaac Hadjar, and Gabriel Bortoleto round out the top 10 and the Q3 finishers. Finishing in Q2, Liam Lawson in 11th in the Racing Bulls, Yuki Tsunoda, George Russell, Fernando Alonso, and Lance Stroll round out Q2. And those eliminated in Q1 were Alex Albon, Nico Hulkenberg, the British Grand Prix podium finisher, which is exciting, Lewis Hamilton, Franco Colapinto, and Kimi Antonelli round out the starting grid for today's Belgian Grand Prix sprint race, which should be starting any minute now. And I haven't seen what the weather is like. I know the Formula 3 and Formula 2 have been going today, but I haven't seen if it's raining, if it's sunny, if it's cloudy. I'm going to find out as soon as the coverage begins. But yeah, thank you so much for watching here live here on the Pit Straight YouTube channel, or if you're watching the VOD on other platforms. If you want to see us live, check out YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. But yeah, like I said, we're just waiting on this to get rolling here. Should be any second for the sprint race. This is going to be an around 45-minute session today, and looks like the driver intros are about to start, which is awesome. So we're about to get into it. But yeah, of course, this is a watch along, so if you want to actually watch the race course, if you're here in the States, ESPN or F1 TV, driver intros are playing. So yeah, just let me know what you think, what your predictions are. I mean, Piastri is 0.4 of a second up in qualifying, so surely, unless if he gets a bad start, because, you know, Verstappen is there, not a long run into turn one from the start. So, also put in chat who you think your top three is going to be. That's what I'm trying to work out right now. Do I think that it's going to be a top three finish between the starters? Maybe. I'm going to lock in Piastri first because he was just so quick yesterday in sprint qualifying, and then I'm going to go Piastri. Let's go Piastri, Norris, Verstappen. I think McLaren are going to have a front row lockout as Belgian GP moves on. They're doing the. I love one thing I love about the Formula One coverage is their intro into it. It's really, really, really well done. They did a video 2017, 2018, 2019, that range. I can't remember, but it was a video of like Formula One by the numbers. I just love the music, how they did all the graphics. Like, that was a really cool video. It looks like it's 15 laps today. I'm going to do one more check, but just to make sure that you can't hear the coverage in the background. Cool. I'm just glad I figured out what was going on yesterday. But yeah, all right. We can see the starting grid from the helicopter. And now they're going through the starting grid. We've already explained it and who it is. They're going from back to front. So 20th, of course, Franco Colapinto to Kimi Antonelli. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be fun. This is the first true Formula One watch along we've done. Last time we tried it, of course, got copyright claims, which makes perfect sense as to why, but that's why we're doing just camera only. But also, you can see the reflection in there, so hopefully it doesn't get caught, because that's not, I'm not trying to show this, but yeah. Waiting on the action to start, waiting on the formation lap to start, and then we'll get going with the watch along. But this is going to be really fun. I'm excited to see how it goes here for the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix sprint race. It looks like Colapinto is not on the grid. Maybe he's in the... Maybe he's starting from the pit lane. They don't have his name in the graphic. So, interesting fact from David Croft that nobody's won from fourth here. Now 3 minutes to go to the formation lap, as tire warmers come off the cars. And tire warmers are coming off the cars. We're about to get rolling for the Belgian Grand Prix. So yeah, again, welcome to the watch along. I hope you enjoy today's sprint race watch along. If you want to watch the race, of course, if you're here in the States, ESPN has the coverage. Also, places like F1 TV are a great place to watch as well. I do have their commentary in my ear, so if they say anything interesting or point out anything, I'll let you know. And the cars are about to roll off. You see Norris, Verstappen, and Piastri, third to first. Sprint race action coming up as the formation lap is due to begin any second now. And they haven't showed Colapinto from the pit lane, but that's where I'm assuming he's going to be starting from. And here they go. They roll off for their formation lap. This is going to be... I'm looking forward to seeing what the results are. And again, if you're watching this live, comment... But let's do some chatting. Put your predictions and everything in the comments. And it is a sunny, cloudy day. Some sun is peeking through, more sun than clouds, which is great because I know there was chances of rain in the forecast for the 3 on-track days as the cars go up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon for the formation lap. Excuse me. As we get ready for sprint race action here. Like I said, I'm going to lock in Piastri, Norris, Verstappen 1 through 3. Leclerc may get the podium, but just the McLarens were so fast in qualifying yesterday. And Pierre Gasly is not starting the sprint race. Wow. Alpine is out of the sprint race. Again, I don't know if anything happened in warm-ups. But yeah, that is surprising. Pierre Gasly does not start the Belgian Grand Prix sprint race. He had a 8th place starting position, but he is not. His car is currently in the paddock in the garage. Out. Laurent Mekies' first race as Red Bull team principal. Of course, if you follow Formula 1, all the drama that happened with Christian Horner after the British Grand Prix, he is out as team principal at Red Bull. So Laurent Mekies is in. Cars are coming around to the long back straight, going into the bus stop chicane. Oscar Piastri, warming up his tires. And they have the Drivers' Championship with Oscar Piastri in first. But, yeah. Cars are about to come across. And cars are slowing down. Piastri trying to get the grid back together so he's not sitting on the starting grid any longer than he has to. It's looking at Esteban Ocon back in the Haas garage. And looking at the teams, there shouldn't be any pit stops today because there is no rain. Looks like in the sky. Race underway. I'm going to have my phone as a backup just in case. There goes. And green flag is up in the back of the grid. 5 red lights are turning on. And the sprint race is go from Belgium. Oscar Piastri gets a good start. Verstappen is on the outside looking to see if he can make the overtake. Piastri and Verstappen come through clean as Piastri takes the lead, weaving to the inside and trying to get out of the Verstappen out of the slipstream. Norris is right behind Verstappen as they go up Eau Rouge and Raidillon for the first time. All the cars look like they are clean in a single file line coming up Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Verstappen is catching up to Piastri back on the Camel Straight. Piastri on the inside, Verstappen on the outside into turn number 3. Verstappen takes the lead from Oscar Piastri. Leclerc comes up to third. McLaren's did not get that great of a start. They have both fallen to second and fourth, still in line. As we see, I believe that is Hadjar making a move on Bortoletto. Looks like the Racing Bulls are in 9th and 11th. But Verstappen takes the lead. And just turning the commentary back on. Looks like Tsunoda has fallen just a little bit. Verstappen, Piastri, Leclerc, Norris. It looks like the Hasses are 5th and 7th with the Williams in 6th. Tsunoda looks like he is in the points now. Well, actually, it's a sprint race, so only top 8 get points. 8 through 1. No fastest lap, of course, this year in 2025. Verstappen looks like he's about to lead the first lap with Oscar Piastri in 2nd, Charles Leclerc in 3rd, Lando Norris in 4th, Haas in 5th. They come into the bus stop for the first time. But here comes Mercedes Russell on Tsunoda, trying to move up the pack. Verstappen does lead lap 1, but DRS is open as they replay the pass from Verstappen. DRS is open. They should be showing this live in the box, but they're not. But coming up, back onto the Camel Straight for lap number 2 comes the pack as they're showing a replay of Verstappen being late on the brakes heading into turn 4. And they are back. Verstappen does have a good gap. Piastri's rear wing is open. Piastri could very well make the overtake again before the end of this race. Maybe I'll have the top 3 right, but not the order as they come down the hill into the right-hander, now into the left before Pouan. But we finally get the running order. So Verstappen P1, Piastri P2, Leclerc P3, Norris P4, Ocon P5. As there are a lot of overtakes. Gasly is, of course, out so far in the race. We're looking at from the rear wing of Verstappen before they get back onto the back straight. Going into the right-hander. Norris very well could make the overtake. Piastri could very well make the overtake here before the end of the race. Of course, this is a sprint, but there is a long way to go today. And Verstappen P1, he's taking that Red Bull to places that maybe it shouldn't be in right now as we get a drone of the bus stop. This could be, let's see if Piastri goes for the overtake coming out of Eau Rouge and Raidillon as they come up the hill now. Let's see if Piastri, no, I think Verstappen's got a pretty good gap on Piastri. Piastri is trying to come back up a little bit, but it is not making the corner, not making the pass into the corner. So, again, Verstappen took the lead early and is not giving it up. He won't give it up easily. We know that about Verstappen. He's not going to give up the lead easy, especially as chances have come few and far between this season for the team as they come back into the right-hander down the hill. Still that same top five for Verstappen, Piastri, Leclerc, Norris, and Esteban Ocon in the Haas in 5th place as we look from Isaac Hadjar in 8th. 8th place, last points finisher, would only score 1 point so far in the race. And so I think we're about to get replays of the sprint race start. Yes, we are. You can see the gap where that Gasly left behind, which is a shame for Alpine not starting the sprint race. But of course, they got to get ready for qualifying in just a few short hours time as everyone made it cleanly out of turn 1. But yeah, just Verstappen just had the speed, had the draft coming out of Eau Rouge Radion. Sorry, excuse me. So, let me just double check that. As they come up, Leclerc is gaining on Lando Norris. And they coming out of Pouhon into the second half of the track, heading into Sector 3. As we're looking from the driver's eye point of view of Oscar Piastri behind Max Verstappen as they come onto the back straight for the 4th time today in the sprint race, a 15-lap sprint race. See if maybe Piastri's just kind of biding his time a little bit. Going to wait and make the overtake later in the race. But he should have the pace once he gets past Verstappen to complete the overtake, but it's just getting past Verstappen in the first place. But coming up, just complete lap 4, starting lap 5, back into turn 1. Verstappen in the lead, Piastri second, Norris third. So it's Red Bull, McLaren here in the final race weekend before the summer break. Actually, no, looks like they go to Hungary next week at the end of the summer break. So back-to-back Formula One race weekends as they go back into turn 4. Just came up of Eau Rouge and Radion once again. See, looking at a box of Behrman in 7th. Piastri is he's getting closer to the overtake each and every lap, but hasn't made the attempt just yet. As we do get a pass, this is the Mercedes looks like Kimi Antonelli is making the pass for Nico Hulkenberg way in the back of the pack in 17th position. I know there was a rough qualifying for Antonelli yesterday. He was on his flying lap at the end. Got into the gravel, did a full 360 in the gravel, right in front of his teammate, George Russell. But so that meant he did not make it out of Q1 yesterday in qualifying. Taking a look at the grandstands as Piastri gets in the gravel in the very exact spot that Antonelli spun out in yesterday. Still Verstappen in the lead over Oscar Piastri. Coming out of the left-hander before the bus stop chicane. On the brakes. Turning right, turning left, back onto the pit straight. And let's see. Piastri is close. He's only half a second away. This could very well be the run as we're listening to his radio. Asking how the tires are doing. He says it's okay. As they come back up Eau Rouge and Radion. Sure that it stays on a somewhat consistent quality. It does look like Piastri's going to make the overtake on this lap once again. He could get close, but he's not gonna make the dive just yet if he's gonna dive on him. And showing the rest of the cars coming up, Eau Rouge and Radion into turn number 4 as we get a look at George Russell, who's currently in 12th place, the highest Mercedes so far. Mercedes completely out of the points for the sprint race. Looking at Oscar Piastri coming out before the back stretch. as the cars come back around. Gap is currently 6/10 of a second as they reach the back stretch once again. And let's see, listen to the commentary as well just to see if they point out anything. Apologies if you heard that. I don't think you would have. But I dropped the receiver for my mic. Looks like Piastri is about the same as he was last time. I think he's trying to push now. We're pretty much halfway through the race, so he's got to, if he wants to make the overtake, he's got to start pushing now. Needs to be closer for Verstappen as they come out of Radion. Making the right turn out of turn 1. The gap is about half a second, which is where it's been the whole time. Verstappen still in the lead, followed by Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. We're looking at the battle for the lead in the top 3. Doesn't look like any other on-track battles are really happening as of yet. Looking at the gaps between Norris and Piastri, Norris on lap 6 was 1.147 faster that lap. Just had a quicker second sector. Looking through the field, nobody's really in any danger of being overtaken yet. There are some cars. You got Tsunoda and Russell. You had looked like Hadjar and Bortoletto. As we are now halfway through the sprint race. Sprint race today. Looking from Kimi Antonelli, who is way back in 17th, racing against Lewis Hamilton. The driver whose seat he filled once Lewis Hamilton left for Ferrari. Making down the left-hander. Looking at Hadjar in 8th. Doesn't look like he's in gonna end overtaking range of anybody. Hamilton radio. Hamilton is saying that he has no rear tires already. Looking at Piastri, who is now 7/10 of a second behind Verstappen. No overtaking threat unless there is a very small mistake from Verstappen as they enter the bus stop chicane. This just shows how important qualifying is and having a good spot to give you a chance that Verstappen had. As Verstappen completes lap 7 into 8. Again, no threats of overtaking anywhere. All the cars on medium tires except for Colapinto. He started on the soft. Colapinto may have to come into the pits. Coming back up to Eau Rouge and Radion once again. And yeah, Verstappen has a really good gap on Piastri. There's going to be no overtaking threat to Piastri. Norris, half a second up on Piastri that lap. So they may be saving it for the end of the race. Just looking at some McLaren fans. And coming into left-hander before P1. As we see Verstappen throw away and get a clean visor. Piastri looks like he may have been saving battery. He is within 0.4 of a second as they enter sector 3. This could be Piastri's lap that he overtakes as we go onto the back straight for the 8th time. Showing his speed going 170 as he enters that long back straight. And Verstappen not as far away from Piastri this time around. As they make the right-hander into the bus stop. This is the closest Piastri has looked going into turn 4 as they complete lap number 8 into lap number 9, making the right-hander in turn 1 once again. Piastri may be on the attack. Looks like he's 7/10. I don't think he's close enough this lap to do anything as they go back up the hill for the 9th time. Making the left, making the right, making the left again. DRS is open for Oscar Piastri as it is for Lando Norris. Lando Norris is not an overtaking threat to Piastri, but Piastri is definitely an overtaking threat to Verstappen. It doesn't look like he's going to do it this lap. It looks like the only chances that he's got is into the bus stop and into turn 4 as we're looking from Lewis Hamilton, I believe, way back in 16th. You can see the DRS train has been forming. It is forming from Tsunoda. So Tsunoda does not have DRS, but everybody behind him does. So a bit of a DRS train as we look at Hamilton and Antonelli back at 16th and 17th. Again, no real battles anywhere overtaking as we're taking a look at Norris. Just came out of Puhan. They're taking the left, right, left before the back stretch, setting up the long back stretch as we enter 6 to go, coming up very shortly. Still looking at Hamilton and Antonelli at the back of the field as both Aston Martin's 13th and 14th, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso. 15th place is Albon, 16th is Hamilton, 17th is Kimi Antonelli. Let's see what the gap is like at the front. Hopefully soon. And there we go. We can see the front of the field once again. As Norris is now, it is now a three-way battle for lead effectively because Norris is there. Norris is behind Piastri. Will they fight between each other? Because if they do start fighting, that may just let Verstappen sail into the sunset for the sprint race. Doesn't like this is going to be an overtaking opportunity for either Piastri or Norris on the positions that they are fighting for. But yeah, Piastri just had about a 10 to 12 mile an hour advantage there. DRS looks like it's worth 20 kilometers an hour, but of course Verstappen may have been saving battery. We just don't know. As the top three are within a second and a half of each other. So this is the closest top three that we've seen in Formula One for quite a while, especially this season. But yeah, just amazing how far Verstappen can pull his car compared to where it maybe should be on the grid. But because his teammate Tsunoda is in 11th position so far. As we go into 5.5 laps to go. Looks like Piastri was deploying his battery last lap. Norris was saving, according to Formula One's, I believe it's Amazon AWS. But the gap between Norris and Piastri is closer than the gap between Verstappen and Piastri. As they enter the bus stop chicane, so we have a beautiful drone shot that they're showing right now. The top three. Leclerc waiting to pounce if anything crazy happens, but Leclerc is about 6 seconds back from Verstappen, as Piastri is looking like he is on the attack. This is the closest that he has been so far. Same with Norris. This is a three-way battle for first. 2 drivers will have DRS, 1 will not. Let's see if Piastri will make the move with 5 more chances into turn 3 coming out of Eau Rouge and Radion. Verstappen is going to start weaving to try to get the slipstream out from Oscar Piastri. Piastri is coming up. Verstappen blocking the inside. Piastri to the outside. This is not the overtake so far. Verstappen keeps the lead on lap 11. Verstappen radio saying he can't brake, so the brakes are fading just a little bit for the Red Bull driver as we have, so we can see continue watching this amazing battle that is going on for the top 3 as there are about to be 4 laps to go in the race. And there goes it, caught back up. Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, top 3, all right there, which is exciting. But Piastri has fallen back a little bit. Verstappen may have been saving battery on that lap because he knows he's got 4 more attack chances to be attacked by Piastri for the lead. So, looking at him coming into the bus stop. Still a top 3 of Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. Leclerc is in 4th. Esteban Ocon is in 5th. Carlos Sainz is in 6th. Oliver Bearman is in 7th place. Isaac Hadjar in 8th. Gabriel Bortoleto in 9th with Liam Lawson rounding out the top 10. Top 8 get points. So double points for Haas so far. Still looking at the top 3. We're going to see if Norris decides to fight his teammate. Got 4 laps to go. 4 more chances up Eau Rouge and Radion. As this is my cat. She's bothering the set, so stay there. But No chance from Piastri on this lap. 2 for Verstappen. Coming around Lando Norris radio. Being told Oscar's battery is mid-level. So, let's see if they attack. They're talking about on the F1 TV commentary, like, is it worth them fighting? Maybe, may not be. But right now it is Verstappen on 8 points. Piastri gains 7. Norris gains 6. Leclerc gains 5. Ocon 4. Sainz 3. Behrman 2. Hadjar 1 point. Again, it's only the top 8 score points in the F1 sprint race. And this is a good look at what would happen in the Grand Prix tomorrow. What is it? But Verstappen is almost a second ahead. So Piastri is in danger of not having DRS, even though he is gaining back a little bit. This could be, I'm going to turn this down a little bit because this is a little bit too loud. There we go. Okay, so Piastri is going to still be in DRS range. It looked like he was in danger of losing DRS on, at least on the front stretch, the pit straight. 3 to go. Lap 13 of 15. But 3 to go. Coming back, let's see if there are any attacks. If Piastri is going to make the overtake on Verstappen, it needs to be very soon. But doesn't like there's going to be an overtake. Lando Norris looks to the inside, maybe just try to cool his engine, get out of the dirty air before turn 3. But he does not make the pass. Right now, it's just still line of stern. 1, 2, 3, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. So far as we're looking from the Williams of Alex Albon in 15th. But nothing, no overtakes for the lead yet. It's looking at the positions gained and lost. So again, 15th place, not a battle for points, but a battle, you could say a battle for pride, really. We're still looking at 2.5 laps to go. No changes so far in the top. It's been Verstappen all the way. It's just Verstappen is getting such great starts. And then with all the dirty air that these cars generate, it just means that nobody's able to get close to him and he's able to continue going forward. But coming to 2 laps ago, looking at Lando Norris in the small box. Again, he's almost a second behind his teammate, 0.87 at this point. 2 laps to go. If Piastri's going to make his move, of course, he's been out there. It looks like there's some dust over before the long back straight. Maybe there was a car that got off, but nobody spun off, so everybody is good. Looking again at Lewis Hamilton in 16th as they come out of turn 1 on lap 14 for the top 3. Realistically, Piastri has 4 more chances as they're looking at the DRS train coming into the bus stop. But the battle for the lead is still heating up. Norris is not at risk of overtaking Piastri at all. Piastri is half a second behind Verstappen. As we move to 3/10, so that must mean they're coming out of the DRS zone. Looking back at the top 3, they're still within 1.2 seconds of each other, which is very, very close racing for this season. As a lap and a half to go, they are in Sector 2. Piastri, almost a quarter of a second quicker than his teammate Lando Norris. But Piastri, again, realistically has 3 more chances. We're about to see the next chance coming onto the back stretch. Sorry if you hear the tail hitting the mic. Oh, because I think it just did. But looks like there is an Alpine in the back, so maybe Gasly is back into the race. Maybe just logging some laps. But they are coming into 1 lap to go. White flag lap here in the sprint race. Verstappen got the lead and has not looked back yet. Looking from the fans at the bus stop chicane. 1 last lap. Piastri is close, though. as they start the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. So far, your podium order is Verstappen, P1, Piastri, P2, Norris, P3, but will that change at the end of the lap? This is the closest Piastri's been. He is half a second coming out of turn 1. But lost a little bit of time. He is now half a second. This is Piastri's second to final chance. Because, again, realistically, he could have a chance going into the bus stop chicane. May or may not happen. DRS is opening now for Oscar Piastri behind Max Verstappen. Is Piastri going to risk a move into turn 3 for the final time? No, he is not. Verstappen comes into the rest of the lap, the end of sector 1, with the lead. Piastri second, Lando Norris in P3, coming around for the final lap of this F1 sprint race from Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix. Is Norris going to attack Piastri, though? Norris is within half a second of Oscar Piastri to come out into the left-hander of P1. Coming into the backstretch for the final time. If Piastri is going to make a move, he has to do it now. But it looks like this is Verstappen's race to lose. Going into the back straight for the final time for the sprint race. The final chance to see racing action before qualifying for the actual main event tomorrow, which is at 9 a.m. Eastern, which we will be live for. But Verstappen is coming around the backstretch for the final time. About to hit the left-hand kink for a Formula 1 car. Coming into the bus stop. But yeah, this is the end of the F1 sprint race. Lap 15 to 15. Max Verstappen took the lead into turn 4 on original lap 1 and is not looking back. Max Verstappen wins the F1 sprint race today here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri is in second and Lando Norris is in third as the cars come across the line for the end of the race. Max Verstappen takes the Red Bull to victory in the F1 sprint race. As the rest of the cars come across the finish line, I will give the rest of the order to you guys as the cars are still finishing the first race. Post Christian Horner, Red Bull returned to winning ways. But the starting grid, the unofficial finishing order for today's Belgian Grand Prix sprint race: Max Verstappen P1, Oscar Piastri P2, Lando Norris rounds out the podium in P3. Then from 4th on down, you have Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Haas 5th and 7th, coming home away with some good points. Carlos Sainz in 6th, Behrman in 7th. And that is the F1 sprint race done and dusted. As we're looking at Helmut Marko shaking the hands of the engineers on the pit wall. But yeah, that is the F1 sprint race from the Belgian Grand Prix. If you enjoyed watching this live stream, whether it was live or on the VOD, be sure to subscribe here to the Pit Straight for more Motorsports content just like this. We have the Breaking Stone podcast. The Flying Lap will be returning for season 3 as the sun is rising behind me. Wow, this is cool to be able to see that while we're watching the live coverage. But next time you will stream, which will be in about 3 hours, around 9:50 for F1 and qualifying for the Grand Prix itself. But thank you so much for watching here on the Pit Straight. I've been Tyler, and I hope to see you soon right here on the Pit Straight on the internet.